to the conferences because that's where you get the essence of the person. It's not in a 10-minute video. You have to see him answer questions because then you know give a fuck about anything.
Yeah,
It's
no,
really
they're
helpful,
really
but he
good.
doesn't give any importance to the dream. In
Yeah.
one of those, he even said they were discussing, that's one that I remember very funnily because this guy is trying to connect how you behave and how your understanding and the duality versus the, you know, also have a mofongo thing, like a mash thing of everything. And he's using this example of what you do if somebody's in the bridge wondering whether to jump or not.
Yeah.
At some point, Ken said, well, you don't know, maybe your function is to go there and push him. Everybody was so shocked because of that, but it's really true. You never know what is best for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's really good. And his use of the musical metaphors throughout is also brilliant, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I find it very interesting the way that the spirit connects the beautiful things of art and music and literature through his teachings.
Everything can be used. Everything. I'm reading this this thick book that I bought on Van Gogh and all of his paintings and his life and everything, and it's very interesting how everything is reinterpreted by the spirit. And I've only just begun. Adriana's talking to somebody.
So you have a past in the art world or a presence in the art world?
No, no. I mean, at some, yeah, it would have been. I would have liked to have. When I went to study. Hey, hola, ¿cómo estás?
Todo bien, al momento.
Qué chévere, qué chévere.
Saliste en YouTube. That's my good neighbor.
It's the neighbor.
The good one.
No el pervertido.
Uh-huh.
Not
No,
the
it was
pervert.
just ironically when I'm fighting with this accent that I have and the lack of fluidity of my thought and words, and he just comes right there and say, "Oh, how beautiful you sound in English."
Ay, qué lindo. Viste.
This is a total joke.
It is. No, but going back to your question, I had wanted to study photography when I went to undergrad, and my mother was like, "No, that's not what you're gonna study."
Thanks, Mom.
It was all good. My mother had a different mentality. She came from a different set of values, where she understood that her role was to make sure that I had an education so that I wouldn't have to depend on a man. But yet here I am.
Oh, well, as long as you can laugh at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it's the same. I'm doing the only two activities that I despised while growing up. And the only two motivations that I have to have a profession was not to have to clean and not to spend my time watching TV because
she hated TV.
Yeah.
You didn't even have cable television. I think that was one of the la queja de tus hijos, right?
I don't remember. But yeah, and ironically, I was thinking about that too yesterday.
Mm.
And I'm actually so grateful for everything.
Yeah, I'm grateful for the experience that I had because of that.
Do you have a camera now?
I have a camera? Oh, yes, I do.
The camera of cameras. O sea, we're joking about, before you enter our conversations, we were talking about making a documentary. Because Astrid has the equipment to make
Well,
it.
I'll just tell you short, like very. So I've had cameras all throughout my life, but they've always been like secondhand cameras and not the camera that I wanted. So like a year and a half ago, I got the inspiration to buy a camera, but I don't know the techniques or the technical terms, the technical stuff. I don't know, and I wasn't inspired to get into that. People came to me with information, and I just listened, and it was totally inspired. So when I went to get the camera, it was inspired that I didn't know anything about cameras, and it turns out I bought like, como se dice, the Ferrari of cameras. And
What'd you get?
I got a Fuji film. And so at that time it was like the best camera that was out for Fuji film. And then I just started to experiment and buy lenses until I got the macro lens, and I'm stuck on that one. But yeah, it's not, like I told Adriana, when I go out with the purpose of taking pictures, it's crap.
Oh yeah.
It has to be totally inspired, and I start to change the settings on the camera until I get what I like, but it's the technical stuff or the reason behind it, I couldn't tell you why. I like my pictures. There are a lot of people who like them. And I send them, and Adriana, even if you don't like them, te jodiste, because I send them all to her.
So they're digital.
Yeah, they're digital.
Oh, cool.
I never said that I didn't like them.
No, yo lo sé, you like them. I know you do. You appreciate them. And I appreciate having you there because I can send them to you.
Well, maybe I should include my address in your little.
Oh, I have
No.
your address. I'll send you one.
Yeah.
In that I do that through the app. So we should read the lesson, right?
I was just thinking that the people who used to follow us in Spanish are.
Es como todo. It's like everything. The people
Not that I
who
care. Okay, let's say this first. Not that I
Sí.
care, because I know that everything is perfect, and I'm not allowing myself to forget that any moment.
Exacto.
That's the way that I protect my peace and my joy. Remembering myself that everything is perfect.
Sí.
So yeah, let's do that. I will take the second place.
I will take the second place with you. That's the lesson. Esa es la lección.
I know.
I hadn't read it before. So la lesson, I'm gonna read it in Spanish.
Sí.
Lección 328, elijo estar en segundo lugar para obtener el primero. Lo que parece ser el segundo lugar es en realidad el primero, pues percibimos todo al revés hasta que decidimos escuchar la voz que habla por Dios. Nos parece que solo podemos alcanzar autonomía si nos esforzamos por estar separados y que la manera de salvarnos es aislándonos del resto de la creación de Dios. No obstante, lo único que conseguimos son enfermedades, sufrimientos, pérdidas y muerte. Esto no es lo que nuestro Padre dispone para nosotros y no existe otra voluntad que la suya. Unirnos a su voluntad es encontrar la nuestra, y puesto que nuestra voluntad es la suya, esa es a quien debemos acudir para reconocer nuestra voluntad. No hay otra voluntad que la tuya, y me alegro de que nada que pueda imaginarme contradiga lo que tú quieres que yo sea. Tu voluntad, espérate. I just raced over that one. Y me alegro de que nada que pueda imaginarme contradiga lo que tú quieres que yo sea. Tu voluntad es que yo me encuentre completamente a salvo y eternamente en paz. Y comparto gustosamente contigo, Padre mío, esa voluntad que tú me otorgaste como parte de mí. Elijo estar en segundo lugar para obtener el primero. So, for me, it feels good to think about taking that second spot or that second place. Feels peaceful, it feels restful. It's like relinquishing everything that is not of value. Finally letting all of it go.
You smoke and I cough.
It's a beautiful day. Maybe I'll go out to take pictures. For me, it's the perfect hobby because it's macro photography and you don't have to go very far to take pictures.
Right.
It's not like I'm going up on a mountain to take. It's right where I'm at. It's just takes you into a different world. So there's not a lot of hiking that I have to do.
Well, that's too bad.
I'm good with that. Now that I say hiking, that I've been having some really weird dreams, and for some reason last night I was planning a trip on a scooter up north with somebody else. Remember who it was? But we both had to have these scooters and we were gonna go. And it's cold, and I was preparing myself thinking, what do I have to take with me, because I can't take a lot of things because I'm gonna be on a scooter. It was crazy. It was gonna be cold. So we were doing it. Yeah, pa Canada. In the scooter, but not in one that you sit down, and one that you're standing up. So I was gonna be standing.
Ah, no. El epítome de la locura. The height of craziness. At least does it have some motor, or are you having two force?
Sí. No, with a motor.
Okay.
Oh, well, that makes it easier.
No. But it made perfect sense to me in the dream.
It always does.
I know. And that's when you realize that, I mean, this dream also, it has to be crazy. When we finally wake up from this crazy dream, we're gonna be like, wow, all the crazy things that I was thinking.
That's happening all the time. It's not in the future. It's all the time. You're just recognizing what you're doing and laughing at it. That's all there is to do. There's no future to wait for to get anywhere.
No, ¿verdad? It's now.
I'm checking the movie that you sent me. I'm in the middle of it.
You're watching. Yesterday, es la de Sofía Loren.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's an old prostitute that takes care of the children of other prostitutes because she's now too old to work in the street, but now she gets money from the government to take care of children that have been abandoned by their mother. Quite interesting.
It was an
Documentary?
interesting story. No,
No, it's
it's
a
with
movie. Sofía
Thing is-
Loren.
There
Oh,
was
yeah.
a movie that had come up on my feed, but I wasn't interested several weeks ago. But I kind of like I saw parts of it, and I wasn't. It didn't. I don't know. I was doing something else.
This is
then-
a current Sophia Loren.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it was
saw
delayed.
a trailer for this.
And it's a quite beautiful movie.
Mm.
And the little boy in the movie, I think it's his first time. It's his first time acting, and he did a wonderful job. And it's just full of just so many lovely people. When you think of how are you going to take care of yourself? People are you're always going to have people around you. Doesn't matter who you are. You have this old prostitute, and there's so many people around. She's taking care of people.
One my thing. That's exactly what I was thinking when I was seeing this fucking movie.
Because we always think that it has to be, it has to be certain people, your husband or your parents.
And those are gonna
No.
be your family there. You're just right in
Yeah.
the moment.
Right
And
in
then,
the moment.
Then you get.
Yeah.
Did you listen to David's commentary on the movie? That is one of the couple changes body every day.
PCC. Yes.
You remember that?
Yeah, that was part of the retreat.
It's
The
the
surrogate.
same thing. No,
No, not surrogate. It's
every day. It's called every day. The boyfriend of a teenage girl changes form every day.
Wow.
I've never seen the movie, but it seems that it changes to an old lady, to a big man, to
see.
you
He
know,
changes
many,
form, but
many things.
it's he doesn't remember. He's always been like that, where he's never had a form, and he wakes up every day in the body of someone that is around the same age as him and in the same area. So he always embodies teenagers, because these are teenagers. And what's beautiful about the movie is that she can recognize him in any body. Like she just by looking, she's looking in a crowd, and she can pick him out just by looking into his eyes. So it's a cute movie in the sense that it's a teenager movie, but it has a really beautiful message when you start to listen to David's commentary on it. Sí, perdón que te interrumpí, Adriana.
No, that's all the purpose that we have. We need to recognize our beloved in everything.
Mm.
Not to pick up certain characteristics and certain things like we used to do, and now we
Not
can
even
have
religion, because in this movie of Sophia Loren, there's there's el hombre musulman that was her friend, and she's a Jew, and none of that matters in the end, because everyone comes together to. It's actually a beautiful movie, but I felt after I finished it, like in another, like maybe several months ago or maybe a year, it would have been a movie that would have moved me a lot of emotions, and I would have felt pain, but I didn't feel any pain watching this movie. I was like, it was beautiful. Because the boy is quite difficult at the beginning.
What's the name of that movie? Do you remember the name of that movie?
I think it's every day.
Every day is the one.
Sophia Loren.
Sophia Loren. Wow.
That's all right. It's easy enough to find on Google.
Yeah,
La
you
vida.
can.
La vida es ahora o algo así.
When you, la vida es así, o la vida es sí misma, la vida ante sí misma, la vida ante sí misma. Actually, you put LA in the search, and it's right number.
Or
three.
what I did was I put Sophia Loren. I put Sophia, and then it just came up. Because it's her last movie that she made, and the most recent one, and they're promoting it, so it'll come up quickly.
The Life Ahead.
Yes, I think it's that one.
La vida davanti.
There were so many beautiful characters in that movie. It's a movie about love.
Everything is about love ultimately because everything is about our reality. It has to be that way. Doesn't matter what it is.
Mm.
We have to be able to look at memories of concentration camps and killings and genocides and abuse and murder and accidents and even that, be able to look on it in love. Not because of what it represents to our past, but from what we want to perceive that is in our right mind, which is the love of God, and only that, which has nothing to do with form, but can be remembered by our choice on how we perceive the form. That's why the Course says, do not try to change the world, but change your mind about the world. You can see everything with the eyes of Christ. And that's the only way that you will be reminded that you are Christ. But Christ cannot see anything but Christ. So anytime you're not seeing Christ, it's a wake-up call. I'm seeing to start wrongly. If I have strong investment with that image, then I have an internal teacher that can help me see it differently. If I voluntarily not choose to see it differently immediately. Because he is used as a guide and as a teacher as long as we believe that we are separate. But as soon as we start to see the equality in everything and recognize that without fear, you will start thinking of like him. And you will notice that happening more spontaneously and more willingly and more happily and more quickly every time within your experience. And then when it doesn't happen, you know what to do. To, jump out of it quickly and start singing the same tune. Yes.
I was listening to Hofmeister's perspective on the movie Surrogates before you guys called. Yeah, just started listening to it.
So they already posted it? I want to listen to that one again.
Actually, I don't know. This is from 2015. So this is probably the all English version.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to
How
listen
you
to
get to that?
Spreaker
Spreaker.
on YouTube.
There is a channel. That is not a channel on YouTube, ¿verdad?
Spreaker. ¿Tú sabes cuál es Spreaker?
Well, when they pop up in the YouTube channel, I can listen to them. But if I will not be able to say, I want to check this interpretation of this movie and search for it. That's what I'm asking.
Oh.
How you do that?
Maybe you can send her the link, Gary.
Yeah, I can do that. Although probably the better one would be the one that you had this last weekend because of it's in Spanish. But yeah, I would just type in YouTube and I typed in the movie Surrogates and then I typed in Hofmeister. Okay. Maybe Spreaker too, but
so that was a question. Spreaker is a channel in YouTube.
No, I don't think so. I think Spreaker is just posting on YouTube. I don't
Okay.
know. That's a good question. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. It's okay because I
Yeah.
have enough material. You know, I have plenty material.
Yeah, it's just a matter of typing in the enough words for Google to do the search in YouTube. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So you let us know the difference between 2015 and 2020.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to listen to both. I think one will do me just fine. That's a lot of Hofmeister in one day.
And you're gonna start dreaming about him like I did.
Yeah.
Oh, spent a whole
Going to
weekend I
the
was
airport
dreaming.
with him.
How was your
Yeah.
retreat with him this weekend?
It was really great. I think it's one of the better experiences that I've had on these online retreats. And I think it's just a reflection of my own readiness, because they're always saying the same thing. They're always doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It just, the experience gets better and better once you start to just allow the message to come through. And the resistance is low.
Yeah. I've started taking and putting down on a paper the dates of our talk, like these mornings, and then summarizing just some of the points, because there's stuff that's just so clear here, and it makes it easy for me to go back and find them. So
It's nice. We have an index now.
That's
well,
lovely.
only
That's
for
really
about
nice.
a week. Yeah. Yeah.
See, that's something that I didn't do. Like I didn't put in the comments, any comments for the video when I post them. I don't put anything in them about what
Well, actually, the lesson.
this is the lesson. Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever
Yeah.
comes up.
exactly. But then eventually you will know that that index is within you, not specifically. But that's the purpose of having a relationship with the Holy Spirit, because He will represent the knowledge in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And even though knowledge is used in the course as oneness, he's the translator. He can translate our needs and our questions and our situations, our fears. All is fear, okay? So under fear is everything that we experience here. Even though if we call it happiness, still is fear. It's like sickness, you know? Being in a body and being separate is sickness by itself. So in that greater expansion of the concept, the Holy Spirit represents a representation or retranslation of the concept of total peace and total acceptance and total love and total security and total joy and total happiness in a way that we can access when we are confused. We recognize that we don't know, and we ask for guidance. And that guidance can come back in a book, in a person, in a dialogue, on the news, on a movie, on a memory, or even you can hear specific words that you know that are guided for you to bring you peace and comfort.
Yeah.
He's so loving and so all-encompassing that can use everything that is in the dream if we are humble enough to recognize that we were mistaken and that we want correction. And just as we were saying yesterday, we learn like practice. Like the more we do it,
Yeah.
the more we practice it, the more we know that it's there, the more we know that it's there, the more we use it, the more we give it reality over what we thought it was reality before. And then eventually when we get to the point that we can happily accept everything and see everybody included, it doesn't matter the form it takes. And then time collapses there. Because there's no more time for you to learn anything else.
Mhm.
Entonces then, like David was repeatedly saying over the past few weeks, it's not easy, it's just from the course, you know. It's just that atonement is a total lack of interest in the past or in the future. You know, it's just the present moment, the same thing. That's what we want. That's what we be seeking all our lives. You know, the incarnations and all the craziness.
Sí. Let go of all the craziness. Yes, trying to just have a clean mind, be able to see clearly everything. Vente, Lilo.
Nos enseñamos,
¿Cómo?
no, Victoria,
He's in the sun. He's taking,
son
aprovechando. Yeah, he's taking, yeah, but I come in and then 2 seconds later, he's at the door barking. We let him in. So yeah. Getting another cup of coffee.
te aproveche.
Sí.
Te va a encantar la película de Sofía Loren, la segunda, la de I saw another Sofía Loren movie that just happened to appear as a suggestion, and I decided to watch it because I never seen one of her movies in original, like Italian when she was young.
Mm.
And it was very funny.
Yeah, that's how this other movie came in for me. And then after Adriana sends me a message saying that she's watching Sofia Loren, and I automatically thought of that movie, and I said, oh, I've seen parts of it. And then when I reread her message, I'm like, no, it's not the same one. So I guess I need to see that one. And then I just left it there. And then I was on Facebook and someone had posted something about the movie, and I was like, okay, I guess I need to see this movie because it's coming up for me today. So after dinner last night, I sat down and I watched it. It was a beautiful movie. Yeah. So I've been trying to for several months. Gary doesn't know this story, but Adriana does. My cousin that's in jail. Before I have a cousin who I've been in jail for like 20 years, and then like 2 years ago, no, a year ago, it was a year and a month ago, he was released. It's a whole story. I'm not gonna go into it now because it's a huge story.
Adriana's just laughing.
Adriana's laughing because she's been with me at every step of the way with this thing.
Porque una cabronada. Dile qué pasó.
Okay, she's telling me to tell you the whole thing. I don't even know where to start.
No, but it's very funny. The guy has been in jail for 20 years, he gets out and then he films himself having sex with a minor. And then the family of the minor got him into jail back.
It's a whole thing with, because there's stories all around this that it's just like it's a whole big package of forgiveness, because part of the story was because he had been in jail in California and then he was extradited to Puerto Rico because he had to, there was another crime that was waiting there for him. So when he was extradited to Puerto Rico, I was living there. And since I'm an attorney, I can go into the jail anytime I want, obviously from Monday to Friday during the day. And I didn't have to go to visiting hours. So I would visit him regularly, like every week. And it all started because he had called me from jail. And at some point I was inspired to tell him about the course. And he was interested in it. So I took a chapter that at that time, it wasn't, I just printed out a chapter and took it to him. And like 2 days later, he called me on his clandestine phone that he had. And he was like, I've read this chapter several times. Can you bring me more? So I took him the course, and it felt like he was getting it right. So that was our meetings in jail, was about the course. And at one time Adriana came with me. And then we've always stayed connected. He's my youngest cousin. And then when he finished his time in Puerto Rico, he was extradited to Florida because he had another thing waiting for him there. By that time I was already here. And he had a hearing, and my aunt who lives in Florida, the one that's supposed to move in with my dad, calls me, and she was like really nervous, and I just felt inspired. I said, if you want, I can come down and I can. And she was and for her it was like, yes, that would be really wonderful if you can do that. Because she understands and she understands and she speaks English, but obviously in a situation where there's a lot of emotional charge, it's difficult for her to, she's like, I have to talk to this attorney. And so I went down there, and we never expected him to be released. Like the whole thing of him being released the same day of the hearing was just a miracle in itself, right? So then he was almost done with his probation. His probation was supposed to be done in, I think, October or November or now. So yeah, he was arrested again. And at that time it was just like,
What's he keep doing?
just different things. He's just up. I mean, he started out with an assault with a deadly weapon in Florida. It was his first offense. So the judge gave him probation. That was in the 90s. And he was allowed to do his probation in Puerto Rico. While he was in Puerto Rico, he killed a man. And then he then got out of Puerto Rico, which I don't know how he did. He left Puerto Rico and he ended up in California. And in California, I don't remember what it was in California that I don't know if it was robbery or something. And then he did about 10 years for that. And obviously then he was extradited to Puerto Rico for the murder, and then he was extradited to Florida for the probation on the battery or on the assault. And then he was released and he has sex with a minor. So yeah, just to,
He's found his home.
That's what I thought. But the thing is that after this last arrest, I thought, I looked up online because I felt like I wanted to send him the book, the course, because I knew that. I'm like, well, let's see if I can send it. I tried to send it to him, and it was sent back to me like twice, because I sent it a copy that I had, and it was sent back, and then I thought, well, I'll send it through Amazon, and it was also sent back. And so to me, that was the message. You don't have to do that. And then before I left for Utah, he sent me a letter, and he sent a letter to my dad, but the letter was addressed to me with a letter inside from my dad. And it was just, you know, taking no responsibility. And, you know, it was really difficult, because I had to do a lot of like overlooking, you know, but it was still difficult for me. And there's a lot of grievances, and he has these grievances with my uncle about, you know, this house in Florida, and it was just a whole mess. So he says he included a letter from my dad, and he said, just make the decision you, and give the letter to your dad. My dad was in North Carolina at that time. So I called my dad. I'm like, I have this letter. I'm not sure if you're interested in reading it. He's like, send it to me. So I sent it to my dad. But it was good, because then I had this conversation with my dad and my brother. My brother has a whole other way of thinking, and his whole perception of the world is different. But it was very helpful, because sometimes I get like, I don't know, I get lost, because I was like, but my brother's like, you know, snap out of it. So I resolved, okay, I'm just gonna leave this here, because I don't want to answer this letter with any attacks. And I can see how the ego just, and I've written the letter several times, and I haven't sent it. I have several drafts of it. And last night, for some reason, I picked up a book that I had, and I had his letter in there, and I thought, okay, so maybe I should write this letter now. So I wrote it, and it was cleaner, but there's still, you know, a grievance there. There's still attack. So it's not completely clean. It's just a draft. And I'm just writing the exercise of seeing what I'm writing and knowing that it's not for anybody out there. It's for me. It's all for me. It just, you know, the spirit is talking to me. And last night it was like, well, maybe, because I tried to send him again last night, because in the letter he gave me the correct address, and he gave me the correct format of how to send stuff to him. Like, so I thought, well, I'm just gonna give this one more shot. So I sent it again through Amazon, and then I wrote a letter. I said, maybe you should dedicate this next year to this, because you've been trying to do this by yourselves, you know, living in the world by yourself, and it hasn't really gone very well for you. Obviously, these are words for myself. And I thought, I've dedicated this year, and I just feel like, I feel like I have more commitment this year, but it seems like there's still some resistance, and there's still not a full 100% commitment, right? So Lilo is asking to be let in. So that's been my exercise for this. My huge forgiveness lesson with that figure in my dream. And that is not even, I mean, that is just with him. He has another brother who's just a mess as well. I also had to just give over. Because I don't know if I told you this, Adriana, several days ago, not even a week.
Que volvió a pedir chavo.
No. Because I have this other cousin, his brother, right? Who's also in Florida. And he periodically sends me texts asking me for money. When I was working, I would send him money, but now I'm not working. So I told him I'm not working, but he keeps sending me messages. And then I think it was like 4 or 5 days ago, I started to get these messages, ding, ding, ding. I'm like, who the hell is sending me these messages? And he was sending me all of these pictures of his house that had burned, but didn't say anything. So So I sent him a message, what happened? And he didn't answer me back. Finally, he answered me back like 2 days later. And he tells me that he was away and that his mother, my aunt, had gone to the house to look for him and found the house burned. And so, and then obviously he asked me for money. And I was just like, you know.
He had to burn the house just to ask you for more money.
No, and then the thing is that obviously when I get the message, I just think of my dad, because my dad, he rented a house in North Carolina for himself and also for my aunt. And I thought this is going to delay my aunt moving to North Carolina. So I sent him a message and my dad was like so pissed. He's like, I'm sure he did that on purpose because he knows that she's leaving. And okay, I don't know if he did it on purpose or not, but this is the situation. I'm just letting you know, because I know at some point, I don't want you to be like blindsided when this comes up, because she might not move back because she has this huge sense of guilt and responsibility for these adult children who are in their 40s almost. So I texted him back saying, I'm not, you know, I can't send you any money. The only support that I can give you is my love and you know, my presence. And he didn't text me back. It's like, I don't want that shit.
Yeah, I cannot eat that.
Well, he has a drug problem. So I just noticed that every time he texted me for money, it was like Friday night. And I was like, at some point I thought, am I financing his drug use on the weekends? But for me, it's been a whole process of letting go, because these are my cousins that I grew up with. You know, they, you know, there's a bond that feels like they're like almost brothers, right? So just letting go of that sense of responsibility. I don't have a responsibility for them. The only responsibility that I have is to see the innocence and the Christ. But this time I was able to do it in peace. Like I was able to be at peace, at least with that part. But yeah, the letter is the letter to my other cousin is, I think it's getting there. It's getting there. It's getting cleaner. At some point, I'm gonna get to the point like, I don't need to send him shit. I feel like at some point I'll just send him a letter saying "Te amo," and that's it.
Exactly.
Those are the you know, the challenges, and I don't want to like miss the opportunity to do what I need to do with those. It's the same that I have to do every day with everything, right? But some things we feel like are more difficult to forgive than others, and it's all the same.
For the meaning that we give it.
Yeah. So yeah, I hadn't shared that with Adriana yet, the whole house burning thing. The conversation with because the thing is that I have the conversation with my dad, and it's everything is just forgiving everything, because my dad just like rages, and he's just like, and also my worry comes up about, you know, him living with my aunt and my cousin appearing at his house, and he's pretty violent. He can be violent, and my dad is an old man.
But then again, you're just thinking about a future that doesn't exist.
Exacto. Yeah. With, you know, using my supposedly past learning and the whole story from the past. Yeah.
Just to anguish yourself about something that is not even real. And if it happens, it needed to happen. So anyway, there's no worrying about that.
Sí.
Just suffering that is not necessary.
Sí.
Yeah, the worrying ends up being a lose-lose either way. I mean, if something does happen and you worry about it, then the mind's going to build another story around that. And if nothing does happen, we've spent all this time worrying. And we're coming into the holidays, so it makes family drama all that much more delicious to the mind.
Well, you know, yeah, that's another thing. The whole, it's been, you know, ever. She's laughing because she knows the story. With the holidays, it's a tough one for me because my mother was all about the holidays. Like she was big on
And then
that.
her birthday is in December 1st.
It's the day that my mother passed away.
To give
I
the
said
gift.
6 or 7 years, and that was her
To
gift.
give,
She passed away on
keep
my
giving
birthday.
the gift that it's always been given every year. She died on her birthday. So you
Wow.
motherfucker, don't forget ever how much I suffer for you.
So
And I'm laughing because now I have become the mother.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm the recipient of whatever have left there.
Well,
And
when you go, make sure you don't die on the 1st of December.
no, I will never die because I'm not this. I have that, very sure. No, I'm happily taking over because I know it's nothing. And, you know, I'm filled with so much love that I don't confuse myself with whatever drama is happening. And I can be present and, yeah, and be of service. And nobody has to know anything. That's why I can laugh.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's letting go of all of those because of course, you know, for a long time I attached meaning to that, for passing away on my birthday, and then I noticed that I wasn't the only one. At some point, my dad also had attached this meaning, and we were able to express it. And I was always trying to be more positive. My dad was just like, "Your mother was a bitch. She died." I can't let that go.
Until the last day. Until the last moment. Cabrona. Because he resented her a lot too. But he had to, she got a very long illness, very debilitating, slowly debilitating illness that made her like into a vegetable at the end for many years.
No,
And
no,
then
don't bet that. She was fine up here. She had ALS. It was just she couldn't move.
okay.
No, she was fine up here.
Just
Well,
calculating
fine.
every move.
Fine, entre comillas, ¿verdad?
Calculating every move that she was gonna make everybody guilty for not making her happy in their life. Now I'm taking on my revenge. But yeah, that's a lovely scenario when you can see it lovingly, you know, with por encima del campo de batalla, above the battleground.
Yeah.
You can see anything and laugh at it and see you know how comically, because if we really remember that we are all one and the ego is one, what is all these different characters doing things to each other doesn't mean anything, doesn't mean shit. And you can do that with everything. And then, because that's the beauty of it, when you're doing it with the spirit, you're doing that so laughingly and so jokingly that you can feel the love for all the participants. When you do it with the ego, well, then you're dismissing their suffering and you're being a motherfucker and blah, blah, blah. But when you're doing with the lightness of the spirit, you can go past the drama and the form, laugh at it, and still remember in love what everybody it is in reality, which is really oneself.
Hmm.
And that takes you away from the drama pretty easily, pretty lightly, and pretty quickly.
Yeah. But we need help with that. We need
And
the
we all
Holy
need that.
Spirit. Yeah.
We need that because otherwise I was on that series of people that are sharing about the week of forgiveness. One of them said, either you become the ocean or you're gonna be seasick all the time.
Very good. Very good.
So that's very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the ocean.
Yes. So I know that we've been here for quite a bit.
Okay.
You don't have lives to live?
No.
No life.
Me
Sin
either.
vida. Sin vida.
But this year I'm not celebrating Thanksgiving.
You're not
Me
But if
celebrating
that's
shit. You're free
no,
this year.
see,
Yeah.
see.
I think my father and I'll talk to him the day before, and maybe we'll both go buy some sliced turkey and sit on Skype, and he can make a sandwich and I can make a sandwich, and we'll talk for a little bit and eat our sandwich, and that'll be it.
Is he far from you?
Yeah, he's in California. So
That is what, 6 hours or more?
more by car, it's like 13 hours. Yeah.
Wow.
But my brother and my sister, they, it's they see him needing to be in some kind of facility or needing to be with somebody, and I just, I don't have that experience. So they, because I don't agree with them, I'm the oddball out.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a great, I talk to my dad a lot, and yeah, he can't remember from one day to the next, but I can have very lucid, clear conversations with him in the present. And so the day will come, but for now, the last conversation I had with my sister, which was actually the day I left the monastery, she just like, I don't want to talk to you. And I'm like, all right, whatever. This has been so many times in our life, and she always goes for the drama. So, it's just a chance for me to just be really present with myself, with her, and I don't give her anything to get angry back. I mean, I don't feed it, I just be quiet, and that's what you want, okay? And she comes around usually by maybe not this holiday, the next time around. So, and same with my brother. He lit into me in an email, and I just didn't even respond to it. I just don't. There's nothing there to dance with. So, yeah.
We can be your sisters in the meantime.
You can be, yeah, exactly. And that's
Yeah,
the way my family
whatever.
that's the way my family's been. I didn't speak with my mother for years. But along came this woman I met. She was, I think when I met Gemma, she was in her early 70s, and she was an artist and just a very broad thinking, very accepting woman, and we just connected so deeply. And so she played my mother in a lot of ways, and my partner, and she just filled all these roles. So
Yeah,
love
whatever is needed will be presented by whomever needs to be there. We just have to be open
Yeah,
to the possibility of not trying to control.
yeah,
That's all that it asks for from us, you know?
yeah,
Be open, you don't know. Don't try to push it. Don't try to control it. Don't try to make something out of it. Just let it be
exactly.
Mhm.
and ask for the understanding that you're not capable because it will be given. That's
Yeah,
why we choose to be in the second place because we know that there's one that can guide us.
yeah. Hey, I have
That's
to
the only
pee.
way.
Okay.
Good.
My tea went in and is now coming out.
Okay. Muy bien.
Mira, nena, tienes que ver esa película de Sofía Loren de los 60. Se llama Pan, Amor, y esa es una mezcolacha de bellaquera, que es una cosa. Entonces, como están en los 60, pues claro, son un poquito más recatados, pero allí todos quieren chicharse a todos. Es
Ah,
una
yo creo que yo
locura.
vi esa película que ella era
Eh,
como una mujer bien liberal para la época.
Yo imagino que como el estereotipo, todas las
Ajá,
películas de ella deben ser más o menos lo misma mierda.
sí.
Pero en aquella época, tú sabes que cuando te ponían el sello y eras mujer, olvídate, tú no
Sí.
podías salir de
Sí.
ahí.
Sí.
Hasta se me pareció a Iris Chacón de alguna manera, tú sabes.
Sí, porque ella tenía la cinturita y tenía muchas caderas. Todavía tiene ese cuerpo así. En la película que yo vi la vas a ver.
Sí, ya voy por la mitad. Pero me gustó, me acordé muchos momentos cómicos de mi vida también, tú sabes.
Yo creo que esa película, yo creo que la vi, donde ella tiene amantes y qué sé yo, y hay un amante hasta
Ella es vendedora
americano.
de pescado en la playa.
Ah, pues no sé, tengo que chequear.
No,
Yo creo que
una
es la misma
locura.
premisa, todas las
Estaba
películas.
riendo porque una doña, la que anda con el tipo, uno de los tipos, estaba rezando y le estaba pidiendo al santo que la liberara de todas las cosas. Tenía una lista como de 10 cosas y la última era y los flagelos. Y yo decía, yo le tengo que mandar esto a Astrid porque estaba clásico.
She wants me to watch that Sofía Loren movie from the 60s.
Which
I
one was
found
it?
it very funny.
One is
It was
called,
very funny.
I don't, Pan, ¿cómo se llama? Pan, Amor y...
Bread, love, and point.
okay. Okay.
No, it's just a silly comedy where everybody's horny and wants to fuck everybody, but with the, correctness of the 60s and the characters, how you call that, the stereotypes.
Uh,
So I laugh a lot. And
Muy
I've
bien.
never seen a movie of her and in Italian. She has a very pastelera voice.
Yeah. Like a very, ¿cómo se dice pastelera? Not a refined way of speaking.
in her voice tone or in the character and the words that she used?
I don't know. I think in the character, el personaje era así, Adriana.
The lack of refinement in Sophia.
Probably will be the character, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she had no problem of playing the character, Came in too easily for me to think that was her real voice.
Mm.
But yeah, I had fun because that was a first for me. I have a beehive there, like in that corner,
Sí.
that is like this big, this big, and that big.
What is
Yeah,
Huge.
a beehive.
Oh,
Huge.
You can have someone come in and not
That's
kill
why
it, but
it's
take it.
huge.
Yeah.
That's why it is so huge, because I've been waiting for someone to come and take.
I know somebody.
David is taking care of that.
David is taking care of that, but you know how David takes care of things.
I know, but you know too. So that's another way of, being patient. I was very impatient on my life, so I'm being taught lessons in patience all the time.
so maybe
And
some
then,
honey.
Mira,
to
tú
be
sabes
happy
que
waiting.
Amanda, Magali and Andrés' daughter, she's ¿cómo se
Beekeeper.
llama eso en inglés? Beekeeper, that's what she studied. No está en
She's
Puerto
really
Rico ella.
practicing.
She's not
Por
in Puerto
eso.
Rico, but I can ask her of someone in Puerto Rico because she knows them. There's very few in
But don't
Puerto
worry,
Rico.
porque I already told David, and David told this other guy, and this other guy bought, I don't know what, that cost him like $120 just to be able to come on. So
No,
there's some
they
movement.
should be able to, someone should be able to do that for free.
Yeah.
No, I'm not speaking about what they are going to charge. I'm speaking
Oh.
of what they had to acquire in order to bring the bees to a nice box where they can put them.
Okay.
I mean, ultimately, I give a fuck. That's true. That's
Well,
really
as long as
true.
you're not swarming around your head.
Well, I have been beaten, but I don't take any grudge for that. Because I know that those bites can be like beneficial. And I'm not allergic, so that's a benefit. So, yeah. But it's okay. Whatever it is. I was thinking the other day how difficult it is to live experience and trust that whatever is on the script is going to happen, no matter what you do.
Sí.
That's such an insult to the ego and to the whole fucking system of belief. And then again, ironically, is your door out? Is the fucking door out, and is so insulting for the ego that only when you have hidden your head enough times so the skull breaks up, you can get it through. And it's always been in your face, because in the course, it has been said from day one.
Mm-hmm.
There was
Somehow we don't get it. We don't want to get it. We
don't want to
feel
get it.
afraid.
It's still, yeah.
We still feel afraid of the future. We still think that we need to plan. We still think that we have to know what has to be done, with whom, where, and try to exhaust ourselves planning about a future that is not here. And then when we decide to be in the present, we feel so good. And yet, there's annoying voice, that is always trying to get in. What about tomorrow? And only when you accept really that the script is written, and that everything that is written in that script, you wrote it with the Holy Spirit because you were with him. And in every moment, there's a healing opportunity for you to accept them all at the same time. So that dissolves time and space in the moment. You really knew that just accepting that I can be on a healing mode all the time, and that I will not be confronted with any fear if I live in the present moment. just when I put my mind outside the present moment, is that fear takes it. So yeah, it's impossible to tell anybody that they are protected and believe, tú sabes, and really convey the power of that
Mhm.
protection.
Mm.
And yet that is the truth.
Mm. Amén.
Muy bien. So what we do with our lives, we don't know. We're taking the second place.
Yeah.
And loving it. Actually loving it. Taking the second
Yeah.
place and loving it.
See.
Being grateful.
Being grateful, yes, that we don't have to figure this world out. There's nothing to figure out.
Exactly. Yeah. We can be happy with that gift.
Hmm.
We can give it to everybody. Just by remembering that, we can be happy all the day. No, es deber musical de Dolly Parton.
All right. I have homework.
I know. That's what
Dolly
I'm telling you because
Parton,
I know that
Sofia
you have a long
Loren.
list. I know that you have a long list, but
There's
yeah,
one that's the
it's a beautiful musical
Pocahontas.
in a movie, so it should be very entertaining and lovingly reminding you of the happiness that you can have all the time. That's a beautiful gift that you can give yourself. Yeah, it will uplift your soul. Y nada más ver esa momia cantando un éxito.
You say that to watch that mummy singing.
That's such an amazing thing that you can only be grateful that you're not a body. Mi madre. Now, just the other day, I was showing Astrid, Raymond, ¿cómo se llama? Roger Moore appear on a movie now, making the role of a grandfather. And Astrid, I took a photo and sent it to Astrid, and Astrid said, "What a mommy!" And I say, and even, because he has the money to preserve the body. He has done whatever he can, and he has the money to preserve that body and still looks like a mommy. Yeah. And it's okay to have fun with that because, our bodies is not what we are, and they are failing us all the time. They are not what they used to be, and
they failed from the get-go, from the start.
exactly. But now, we are confronted with age and aging. That's a fact within our daily lives.
Right.
And we have to see that happily and, loving the moment and the position that we are no longer trying to sustain a beautiful body to attract another body or other bodies, That was very time consuming.
And exhausting.
And it wasn't happy.
No.
Because you weren't doing, I wasn't exercising or going, taking care of the body and everything and the hair and everything. I wasn't doing that happily.
No.
That wasn't pleasurable. I did it because I thought that I had to look good, for society. So that's also very comforting to be in that position of looking at our failing bodies and being okay with it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Ese es el pensamiento. That I had that thought yesterday because I have a recurring pain in my hip, and I thought, well, I guess this is what's happening now. Any thought of me going off to hike or to do, exercise or anything? No, this is it. And I was fine with it. And I had the same thought of what you're expressing now. This is, I can accept all of these failings and joy because I don't have to identify with the body.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that race to stay young and to stay supposedly healthy, that's exhausting. And once we're able to let that go, then it's
and it's a lie.
It's a lie because
it's a lie. You cannot, whatever is gonna be on the plate is gonna be on the plate any day.
Sí. Doesn't matter either way. If you wanna play with the puppet and put some clothes on or lipstick or whatever, go for it. But don't think that that's the true reality.
Not even healthy food or any fucking thing.
No.
Healthy people, are not happy. No people are happy.
No one is happy, healthy or unhealthy.
Exactly. And there's no cause. You remember you asked me about cause and effect. Cause is good, effect is great. Nothing else is real. There's no other cause, there's no other effect. All else is random. It's like in the hands of the ego, of course. When we change your mind and we change the purpose of us being here or dreaming being here, then everything that seemed to be random fall into place in a beautiful symphony that we can just listen to it, like observing it, and don't touch with it. Don't attempt to touch it.
I think Gary was saying that, the world is that as there. I don't have to touch it. I don't have to get entangled into it.
Exactly. I forgot that I have the machine full of clothes that need to be hanging.
Okay.
Well, my duty calls.
Thank you, sisters.
Yeah.
Sure, we will be whatever you need.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yep. See you mañana.
See you mañana. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.